Revolutionary greetings, everybody. All power to the people. This is Shaka Shakur, North African political prisoner, speaking on behalf of all political prisoners in solidarity, international solidarity, with the panel. I just want to point out a couple of things, a couple of points. I was asked to do this, kind of doing it, just from the top of my head and what have you. But one of the things I wanted to point out is the similarities of our struggle, despite borders, the superficial borders and state lines and so forth created by politics and what have you. Like when we say that we stand for human rights, we stand for human rights for all human beings, even those that we may not even agree with ideologically, even those that may be in opposition to our politics. We stand for justice. When we say justice for all, because we recognize that to impose oppression against one is to impose oppression against all, although one should be held accountable and brought to justice for their actions. So when we talk about the African struggle or so-called black struggle, we don't want our struggle, especially when we're talking about an international panel or an international context, to be put in the context of just fighting racism or white supremacy, because those are not our primary issues. Our primary issues, or the primary contradiction for our struggle, is that of colonialism and neo-colonialism and imperialism and the subjugation and domination of a people as a nation of people that struggling for the right for self-determination and independence, for example. It's interesting that you see conversations now by imperialist countries and whatnot, and representatives about a two-state or a state solution, or recognizing a Palestinian state as they seek to divide the spoils of war, in strategic locations and land of a people that have been subjected to genocide, one of the worst genocides, modern day genocides, perpetrated by a state and supported by the United States in modern times, and the crimes against international law in the face of the international community and not be held accountable, while crime victim, it just angers me every time I think about it. But again, going back to our struggles in political prisons behind the walls, our struggle beyond trying to free ourselves is also to agitate, educate, and organize our fellow prisoners as well as ourselves and create revolutionary mindsets and transform colonial criminal mentalities to feel cadre and to feel soldiers to go back into the struggles and go back into our communities that's joining the struggle to fight for our rights and fight for the rights of all and fight for humanity as a whole. And we want to put that in that proper context. We recognize this intersectionality and interlapping of our struggle with Palestinians, with the Indians, and other natives and other organizations in other countries. Our struggle with Haitians, how they fight imperialist dominations, and the byproduct of colonial and imperialist domination that we see playing out on the ground in Haiti, for example. Or we see playing out on the ground in the Congo and whatnot. The byproduct and the aftershocks of imperialist and colonial domination that still manifests itself today, while on the surface it may appear one way, but when you dig in underneath the surface and go back to the original contradiction, it leads back to imperialist and colonial domination and imperialist powers that still capitalize off of and exploit the strategic and mineral resources of those lands. So let's not be divided by the smoke and mirrors and the superficialities that the states create to distract. As we see ICE kicking in doors and state agencies are representing the globalist state kicking in doors and snatching children out of the arms of parents and what have you, as they deport and send us across seas into foreign lands and foreign jails and foreign prisons under the guise of being illegals and illegal aliens and immigrants and so forth. Imagine that on stolen land. How dare you? I rest my case. Peace.